Hello, YouTube. It's Peter. Uh, Welcome to my channel. Name of the channel is Deaf Going Camping. Thought in this video I would kind of explain a little bit more about who I am and who my wife is and what we're setting out to do when she gets better and is able to come out back home to me. So my last name is Gowan, and it's constantly mispronounced as Gowan. So I named the channel Deaf because I'm deaf. Gowan Camping, but most people will probably read that as Deaf Going Camping. So that's the reason why I chose that name. You know, like in a text, you would write DEF and short for definitely. And then my last name is mispronounced, and then camping. We're going to be going on some adventures. States, chill out. We're going to be going on some adventures, doing overlanding, going on camping trips, hopefully hooking up with some other overlanders eventually. Once we get it built out, we should be able to go off grid for about 3 weeks. But that's going to be down the road. To do all that is pretty expensive. So we're just going to kind of start out slow. And then we bought the truck. I drove from Isleton, California to Tacoma, Washington. Did a round trip, and I did it in 3 days, sleeping in the back of the pickup truck. One night in our old truck going up. One night in the new truck coming back. Well, new to us truck coming back. Just slept at rest stops, cozied up for the night, and woke up with the sun and hit the road. So we got the truck, got the camper set on it. Now that I've got them both together, I'm starting to formulate ideas to how I want to build it out. And like I said, that's going to take a little time. We live on our boat full time, so I don't exactly have a shop. So, trying to get work done in, it's going to be hit and miss for what I can do. I plan on doing everything myself that I know how to do. And I'll seek help for what I don't know how to do, which is hooking up the solar. Running it to all the different gadgets and gizmos. Make sure that the charging system is totally up to snuff, with enough power to keep us comfortable without having to run a generator or the truck. When I get it built out, I'm going to be carrying a generator with us, and some extra fuel. And extra small air compressor, and kind of emergency tools, roadside assistance, distress, recovery, saws, ladders, just kind of all the outdoor stuff you need to get yourself out of a sticky situation. So that's all going to be stored on the exterior in the space in between the camper and where the rails are on the truck. And I can seal that off with a solid piece of sheet metal. I'm going to use aluminum to cut the weight down and uh, put some washers in between the two different types of metal. Um, and so I'll be semi out of the weather, but it will be locked up, so my belongings will be able to be safe in there. One side's going to be set up for kind of like recovery tools and all that. The other side's going to be more set up for camping with chairs, extra tent, air mattress, and that kind of thing. Um, the interior, we're going to get all done up. Um, it's actually a really, really comfortable night's sleep in there. Uh, we drove from California to Crystal, Michigan to pick it up. We got up there in 3 days, loaded the camper up, and headed towards Salem, Missouri to pick up our little puppy. Um, I call him a discount pup because we met the people in a Walmart parking lot. But he is a really, really good boy. And then from there, we drove to Little Rock, Arkansas for a couple of nights and visited with my wife's cousin. My cousin. Love that girl. Brianna. Hi, Brianna, if you're watching. Um, Camped there for a couple of days. Oh, on the way to get the puppy in Effingham, Illinois. The turbo on our diesel blew. We were stranded at the RPM uh, auto repair in Effingham, Illinois. If anybody's ever got car problems while they're on the road and you're anywhere near Effingham, I highly suggest RPM. They went above and beyond to not only get us back on the road as quick as possible, but they let us unload the camper in their yard, plug into their power and their water, because the cab of the truck has to be lifted off of the truck for them to replace the motor, or the turbo, I mean. Uh, so they did that. We were stranded there for 8 days. I am so glad that we didn't break down before we picked up the camper. We slept in it for one night on the road at a rest stop and broke down the next morning. Uh, I've got to say, I have never been so comfortable or happy being stranded, as weird as that sounds. The camper was amazing. Uh, we were there during an awesome thunderstorm and tornado warnings. Uh, the shop at RPM not only let us stay there, they actually gave us the keys to their shop truck to use on the weekend while they were closed, so that we could go get supplies and use the shower and stuff like that. So, RPM, a big shout out to you guys. You guys were absolutely, absolutely amazing. So, We visited with our cousin Brianna and Little Rock, and then headed to Texas and visited with Katie's aunt and uncle. But with the being broke down, we kind of ran out of time. Wasn't planning on being gone that long. We had my son every other weekend, and I didn't want to miss him on another weekend, so we had to get back into Sacramento to pick him up. So it was a pretty just kind of straightforward pedal down, um, get home as quick as you can, but also still had time to stop at the Grand Canyon. We stayed there for one night. Yeah, we only, well, technically 2 nights, but the first night we ended up at some weird freaking parking lot off of the road RV camp that wasn't in the park. But, you know, whatever. And then we actually got into the park and got a nice spot at the Grand Canyon, which I have to say, the pictures that I grew up looking at that place, just absolutely don't do it justice. It is absolutely beautiful. Originally, we had planned on actually going down in some of the trails and stuff out there, but again, with being broke down, we lost a lot of time, so we were only able to stay in the park one night. Um, oh, we're definitely gonna go back and we're gonna go explore some of the trails that I see the other YouTubers out there that have inspired this making. Uh, I hope to run across you guys. When I drove up to Tacoma, uh, I recognized three people uh, that I've seen on YouTube. At each stop, it was late at night, and their lights weren't on, so I didn't go over and say hello or introduce myself or anything. Um, but it was cool seeing some guys I recognized out there. Um, yeah, so we made it home and didn't really do much with it since we got home. That was back. We got home in November, I think it was. Yeah, as it was Halloween night, the night we picked up States, or the night before, whatever. Uh, so we just kind of had it sitting there for a bit, and then on New Year's Eve, we're driving to Sacramento to pick up my son to go stay the night, do an overnighter in the camper. Um, I forget where we're going. I think we're going to Katie's parents' house or something. I don't remember where we were going to go, but I got down the road and sure as shit, the same damn thing happened. Now, this time, it took forever to find a shop that would work on the truck in a reasonable amount of time, but also work with RPM because it was warranty work. Well, the whole damn thing blew up again. Um, we were without the truck for, I think, 3 or 4 months. Um, uh, got it back, got the camper loaded back on it, and then with fuel prices just skyrocketing, it was like, well, I'm gonna have to put off our trip. We were planning on going up to Moab this summer, but it's just, I mean, it's a joke out here in California. Pump stops at $100, and I get a half a tank. Yeah, it was just going to be too expensive to drive that big old diesel anywhere. It only got 11 miles to the gallon on it with the camper on it. So yeah, it was just economically better for us to get rid of it. And it just works better for me on a flatbed. It took some convincing for Katie to get a flatbed. Uh, she really loved, we called him the Beast, our diesel. But I mean, the stairs were just so steep. I put a block of wood under them, and they were just still so steep. Uh, so having it closer to the ground makes the stairs a lot more doable. Actually, Katie fell off the stairs the first night we were at RPM, um, before I put the block of big old block of wood underneath the steps. I mean, they were like so steep. So she actually fell off of them and scuffed her knees up and stuff. But uh, yeah, it's just better. And then the wasted space for me, for what I want to do, the wasted space in between where the truck sat and the bed of the truck is just, it was just useless space. And then I gain a little space on the flatbed to be able to utilize that in there a whole lot better. Extra propane, extra fuel, firewood, recovery gear, chairs, bags, tents, everything is going to be able to just be snug in there. Um, so I have what we need to be out on hand. Um, um, I guess I'm retired. Um, since COVID came along, I got laid off from my last job. Um, Never got hired back. And with COVID in our old place, when the lockdowns came, uh, one of my roommates had COPD and the other one is elderly. And we're supposed to be protecting the weakest in our communities. So Katie and I were staying on our boat where they do not allow liveaboards at the Sacramento Marina in Sacramento, California. That sucks. You guys can kiss my ass. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube or not, but they suck. Uh, they evicted us, even though it was illegal for them to do so when we were doing what we were supposed to be doing. But it worked out for the best for us. It gave us the opportunity to really live on our boat full time. And we moved down to Oxbow Marina in Isleton, California. It's absolutely beautiful out here. It's off the Georgiana Slough. Um, it's on the Delta. So other than last week with that heat wave, the Delta breeze comes up at night, keeps things nice and cool, so we don't even have to run the air conditioner. Um, Boat's got everything that we need. We got the boat dock set up with a larger refrigerator, just so we don't have to run to the store, every other day or every day. Uh, so that thing has been awesome. Um, Nobody has. I haven't been able to find work. Let's just put it that way. I'm a very, very, very experienced tradesman. Uh, I've got well over 35 years or so in the trades. Um, Also drove a truck for many years, a tractor trailer, Class A. Um, I lost my license uh, for my Class A a few years back after I broke my back. I didn't actually break the bone, but um I had a pretty bad fall carrying a granite countertop and just compressed my spine, herniated 3 discs. Um, Ended up having surgery. I now have permanent nerve damage and constant, never ending pain that I manage uh, just by managing it. Trying to stretch and walk, keep my back as nimble as possible so that nerve is getting some lubrication so it can move in and out more freely. That's kind of the key. But there's some days where, I sneeze without bracing myself or something, and I'm down for a week. Um, my wife, Katie, she's a retired uh, Oakland police officer, um, crime scene technician. Uh, she was on the force for almost 18 years. Misses her job, misses her comrades. The Oakland Police Department, family. Um, they've been amazing through this whole ordeal with Katie getting sick. They've been absolutely amazing. They say, you don't just marry a cop, you you marry the brotherhood, and they've proven that to be absolutely true. Um, so yeah, I guess that's gonna kind of do it for today. Uh, yeah, I don't know how many videos I'm gonna be putting out there. I thought once I get the channel going, I would incorporate telling an old camping story or an outdoors story, boating story, just from all the adventures that Katie and I have been able to take over the years. And there's been a lot of camping. Rented a houseboat with my daughter and my son out on Havasu for a week, and we had an absolute amazing time there. That's another place that pictures just don't do it justice. Uh, So it kind of started years ago. I kind of fell into the rat race, um, you know, of trying to do what I thought success was, which was basically just working my ass off and killing myself to make a lot of money. And at the end of the day, that can all be taken away from you, and you're not happy. So I started making lifestyle changes, and I met Katie, and we were just friends at the time, best friends. Um, and I was at her house for New Year's Eve. And the night before New Year's Eve, we made up a huge batch of wontons. Um, it's my recipe. I call them little bites of heaven. I've never met a person that doesn't like them. They're absolutely delicious, but they're a pain in the ass to make. I think we make about I think 150, about usually about 400 of them in a batch. So that's a lot of wrapping. So anyway, we got the wontons made up, and we're watching. I think it was Without a Paddle, the comedy movie on TV, and God, I miss camping. At that point, I hadn't gone camping in probably 10, 12 years. Didn't have any gear anymore for the most part. Yeah, so I didn't have much. And then Katie looks at me and goes, "We can go camping. I got a tent, sleeping bag, air mattress, chairs, ice chest. We could go camping. We could go camping." I mean, seriously, that was my reaction. Let's pack up in the morning and head on out. And she took me to this beautiful park. Uh, I can't remember if it's a state park. Yeah, it's a state park. It's Caswell State Park. Absolutely beautiful. Has, I forget what river running behind it. There's cows out there. So we spent New Year's Eve by the campfire camping. And that's kind of where it all started back up. I started going out and buying tents. I think I got four of them now. Air mattresses, camping gear, cooking stuff, everything that you need for going out, pop up shelters and screens and all that kind of stuff. So we started going camping and getting outdoors a whole lot more. And with being on the boat, a part of our retirement, which we both thought was going to be, further down the road, we were planning on having a larger boat than this one, so we can travel basically around the world in it. Yeah, we were going to buy something like that and then fix it up over the years until we were set to retire. And then also buy a small RV to travel the United States and explore the United States in before we start, taking off to go see other countries. I'd rather see home first. So we plan on making the 48 and then visit Alaska and Hawaii in a bigger yacht. When and if now at that point that day comes. But in the meantime, this yacht is more than capable of getting us up and down the coast of California. It would need some more equipment added, navigation system and radar and things like that for a trip like that, which is something I think we're probably going to end up doing and just hold on to this boat. And then while we've been here, we had the truck, and we originally bought the truck to be able to tow our boat. It would have been able to, but we bought the truck before we had the boat. And when we bought the boat, it doesn't come with a trailer, and the trailer surprisingly cost almost as much as the boat. So, yeah, getting rid of that truck was kind of, it just made sense, but it got me thinking about getting a camper shell. And so I started watching videos on YouTube with all the different guys and how they were building them out. Some of them come in and out, different setups. It's all basically just, battery power, ice box out of the back of your truck camping kind of thing, which I found appealing, but not having a bathroom was not appealing. I know I go car camping and that doesn't have a bathroom, but that got me started to thinking about, okay, let's take a look at utilizing the truck for a camper. And we went with a pop-up camper for the weight and for the height. The truck was ridiculous. The bed of the truck, I think, was at 52 inches off the ground. So, yeah, it was a big boy. So getting rid of that just made sense, but that's what kind of started down the road of the camper. And now we got that, and now that I got it on the new truck, I've been able to sit inside, measure, and visualize, even stack things to where I want to build things so I can visualize it, like the bed extension, So I built out with some ice chests and stuff, laid across it. I'm 6'3", and laying, kind of cattywampus. I would be able to sleep in that spot comfortably. So that'll give us a space for 3 adults, or 2 adults and 2 small children could share the bed, and in a pinch you could even sleep somebody on the floor for a potential of 5 people sleeping in the camper. I don't ever plan on doing that though. It would be in an emergency situation. So I'm just going to set it up for Katie and I and my son. So I've been able to sit in there and see what I want to do. I just don't know anything about hooking up the wires and making sure, nothing catches on fire or goes boom in the middle of the night. So I'll be looking for some help on that. Again, I think that's going to do it for this video. I'll get better at this as I progress and learn how to edit and add music and get all the pageantry and whatnot to it. But I'm just going to try to keep it kind of real, be myself, put myself into my videos. Try to get as much on camera as I can, interacting with people in public, so that you guys can see, hopefully, the frustration that I go through on a daily basis with being deaf. Um, it's kind of a odd disability in the sense that, you know, most other disabilities you can see. Um, this one you can't, and it's odd because people get frustrated at you that you can't hear them, and I get frustrated because they are trying to speak to me as I'm telling them I don't hear a damn thing you're saying. I don't hear it. I didn't ask you a question. You know, like at the checkout at the grocery store with all the masks on and stuff. I try to stay out of public as much as possible, so nature's gonna be so much better. Anyway, I've just blabbed on here for too long. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, click the button, whatever it is, the subscribe button. And if you want, you can share it. I guess that's supposed to help things out. Uh, I hope you enjoyed this. The videos will get better in the future. I guess that's the second video for Deaf Going Camping. Or Deaf Going Camping. See, now I'm mispronouncing my own last name. Alright, I'll check you guys out later.